And this topic is very, very close to my heart because compassion, goes directly from the heart. And today we'll be talking about some things to incorporate compassion more and more in our personality. So I hope I can share my screen with you.
Yes, you are ghost. You can share your screen.
So I hope it is visible.
It's visible.
So every time we talk about compassion, and before I start, I wanted to ask you, I think I should talk purely in English, Dr. Sandeep.
Yes, you can.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So whenever we talk about compassion, we always talk as if it is a God's gift to us. Like honesty is a God gift, and if I am a singer and a beautiful dancer, then singing and dancing is also a God gift. But today we would like to explore compassion more and more in this coming session, few minutes ahead. And when we talk about compassion, Dr. Sandeep just said a word called passion, right? So passion is a word which is, a little bit similar to compassion. And we all are spiritual doctors here, healthcare professionals here. So one word which is very, very similar to compassion is competence. And when a doctor is talking to someone and when a doctor is thinking about himself, a doctor carries some air with him or her. We consider ourselves to be very much educated personality in this whole society. And competence and the skills are very much part of our profession. So if a doctor is skillful, if a doctor is best in his job, if a doctor is a best surgeon or best physician, and doctor has the 100% quality to treat a patient. So the question to the house is, do still compassion is needed in a doctor when the doctor is 100% skillful and competent? So this question is open to the house now. You can give your responses in the chat box. And next few minutes, I'm going to tell you that this is not at all going to be a lecture. This is going to be an interactive session with everyone. So either you can unmute yourself and give the answer, or you can give your answers in the chat box. So do you think that when the doctor is 100% competent, skillful, best in his job, still compassion is important? Is it needed? Yes or no? Yes. I'm just trying to see the chat box. Yeah. I'm getting so many responses, and everyone is giving a universal response. Yes, you're perfectly right that compassion is very, very important in our medical practice. It is as important as the competence, right? So, why compassion is important? And we'll try to explore deep and deep of the compassion the next few minutes. Like I have been listening that many fields in medical profession are too hectic. We see patients throughout the day, we see a lot of deaths, and in the end of the day we are exhausted, we are drained, right? So how to prevent this burnout, how to prevent this draining? And the answer to that is compassion. If a doctor is compassionate, if a healthcare professional is compassionate, he or she can prevent the spiritual exhaustion, he or she can prevent the burnout. And how it can be prevented, that we are going to see. But one thing I take a pause and tell here, that if I meet a person who is sad, who is anxious, who is in pain, naturally that pain, the sadness, and the anxious, the anxiety comes on to me, and my state of mind is deranged, my state of mind is lowered. So compassion is one thing which can prevent this lowering of state of mind, which can prevent this draining of the mind. So what is compassion? Compassion simply means kindness or care. It also means patience. It also means generosity, respect, or understanding, or it also means some unconditional love for everyone. Compassion also means listening. So I'm going to talk in detail about the listening here. And all of you who are attending this session right now, the 72 people like a family here, You all are compassionate towards me. I am compassionate towards you because we are listening to each other with our full heart, with our full understanding, with our choice. So, as you have been introducing me about this session, so when we talk about compassion, we always talk about sympathy, empathy, and then we talk about compassion. So, a little bit knowledge that what is pity, what is sympathy, what is empathy, and what is compassion. Suppose a patient is coming to you and is in pain. So, pity is that I acknowledge your suffering. हम बहुत बार लोगों पर दया करते हैं. Pity. Sympathy is that I care that you are suffering. Empathy means I'm feeling that pain, the pain you are having. But compassion is much beyond this. Compassion is beyond pity. Compassion is beyond sympathy. It is beyond empathy. Compassion में extra क्या होता है? When I'm feeling your pain, when I'm caring about your suffering, what extra the compassion does? Compassion does that I'm ready to take some action. I'm ready to take some right action to relieve you from your suffering. That is compassion. So empathy plus the rightful action is compassion. I'm feeling your pain, but with my whole heart and my whole brain, I'm here to help you. So compassion means empathy plus a approach which is ready to provide some solution to the pain. So that is compassion. So compassion is sympathy, empathy, and empathy. And I would like you to see this small video. Taking a pause and see this video.
So what is empathy and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, look down. I know what it's like down here, and you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no. You want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with at least. We do it all the time, because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So I had a miscarriage. At least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now, I'm just so glad you told me. The truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
Thank you so much for listening to this video. And when we saw this video, we understood this point that empathy is which drives us to connect to people, and sympathy, it drives disconnection. हाँ, जैसे कि आपने वीडियो में देखा था कि अगर एम्पैथी होगी तो आई एम फीलिंग योर पेन, आई एम अवेलेबल फॉर यू, आई वांट टू हेल्प यू, बट सिंपैथी इज जस्ट आई नो दैट यू आर सफरिंग. And one more important concept which comes into play here is empathy, which is very, very important for healthcare professionals because we are dealing with patients from different cultural backgrounds, different countries, in fact, different caste, different age group, different thought process. But in spite of being the differences in the thought process, I still understand the other person. I still want to help the other person, and that is empathy. So compassion is beyond all these things or a combination of sympathy, empathy, empathy plus. The most important thing is that in compassion, I voluntarily want to help a person. The voluntary word is very much important here. In compassion, I'm engaged to the other person, but still detached. And this is one point which is highlighted here. Why detached? I'm engaged to a patient. I am engaged to a friend for whom I'm compassionate, but still with my mind, I'm detached. And what is the need to detach here? Engaged means that I'm connected to the person, I'm listening to the problem, I'm understanding the problem, I'm understanding the feelings, and I'm taking the right action to help. But with the mind, I'm detached. And this detachment is helping me to prevent the drained out problem. This detachment is helping me to prevent the burnout. For example, I want to share one of my personal incident with all of you. As I'm a faculty in Maulana Azad Medical College in Department of Pathology. So I joined this institute in 2015. And I should say that inherently I am a very kind person. Inherently, I want to tell this about my personality. Okay. So one day I was leaving my hospital and I was going home. I was in my car, and on one red light, a very old man came at the window of my car, and that old man started crying, and he requested me that his wife is ill and is admitted in the hospital, and he was selling some magazines, so he requested me to buy his magazines. I felt very kind towards him. I bought all his magazines. Maybe it was maybe 300 to 400 rupees. I did not want those magazines, but still I bought it intentionally. I wanted to help him. So the person was giving a lot of blessings to me. And then the red light converted into green light and I started driving again. And after a few seconds, I noticed that there were tears in my eyes. I was crying. So here I want to highlight one thing, that I was compassionate to that person. I was empathetic to that old man. I helped that old man. But the pain he was having, I also started feeling the same pain. And for some time, maybe for few minutes, my state of mind was lowered. मेरे मन की शक्ति कुछ समय के लिए घट गई. So compassion is what? Compassion is that I am engaged, I am helping a person, I am understanding a person, but I do not allow my state of mind to be lowered. I do not allow myself to be discharged. That is the highlighting point of this session. And we will explore further that how we can achieve to this conclusion, that how we can be compassionate. But before we go further, I have one small question to each one of you. What are the blocks in the path of compassion, especially in the workplace? Suppose you are in your hospital, you are seeing patients, or you are seeing some friends. You want to be compassionate to them, but what are the blocks? What are the obstacles you face? What are the hindrances in your own personality, which prevent you from being compassionate? Yeah, and I am listening. Yes, one beautiful answer I got is that ego is one thing in my personality, which prevents me from being compassionate. And the second answer again is I am getting the ego. You're truly right, Sunita ji and Manjari ji. Anyone else? Any other blocks in my personality? Any special traits in my personality which is preventing me to be compassionate to people around? Because in this session, the main outcome is that we want to increase our compassion index. That is the main outcome of this session. And few more answers is that selfishness, limited energy, these are also one of the reasons that which is preventing me to be compassionate. And selfishness, again, lack of time, hectic work schedules, this is also one of the reason to be compassionate, right? So whatever the answers you gave, in that some things are modifiable. Status is also one of the reason. So the most important point to attend here is that out of all these reasons you are saying, some reasons are modifiable and some reasons are not modifiable. So we will like to explore the reasons which are modifiable, the reasons which can be modified in my personality. Like ego is one reason which can be modifiable in my personality. If I have the awareness of my ego, then I can reduce my ego. And if I reduce my ego, I can increase my compassion index. How am I going to do that? We are going to see ahead. So a small exercise for each one of you. And side by side, I will note down your responses also. Please sit straight for a moment. Close your eyes. And with closed eyes, reflect a person in your life or any famous personality or a very close person in your life whom you have met and you think that person is compassionate. Just recall that person. Just recall that person in your mind, which you think that person is compassionate. And now take few more seconds and identify the qualities in that person which makes that person compassionate. Identify one single predominant quality in that person. उस व्यक्ति में उस क्वालिटी को, उस खूबी को पहचाने जिससे वो व्यक्ति कंपैशनेट बना है. And now I request all of you to share your one word response in the chat box. What is that quality? You can write the person, but I want to know the quality. What is that quality which make that person compassionate? And I'm simultaneously noting down your responses also. Yes, love, empathy, listening, helpful, and many more responses I'm getting actually. Courage, belongingness, soft spoken. Okay, let's see how much I can write. Courage, belongingness, soft spoken, and caring. Okay, listening. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your beautiful responses. And I know responses are still keep coming on. And this shows your compassion towards each other. Commitment. Okay. Right. Many more responses coming. Thank you so much. Okay. So when we have done this exercise, we recalled a person who was compassionate to me. And these are so many qualities you have highlighted, that because of love, that person was compassionate. Because of empathy, he or she was compassionate. Listening, helpful, courage, belongingness, soft spoken, caring, and commitment, and many more. I know many more responses I'm getting, that caring, loving, determination, and feeling of oneness, feeling of belongingness. So these are the traits which make a person compassionate. So again, I come to the one question which was asked in the beginning, that compassion in medical practice, is it inherent or acquired? Can it be increased? And the answer is yes, because you yourself gave the answer right in front of the screen. Because these are the qualities which makes a person compassionate, and we can increase or decrease these qualities. And how we can increase or decrease these qualities? You must have heard about a medical phenomenon, that is use or disuse atrophy. You must have heard about it. Disuse atrophy, right? Hmm? We have heard that in our medical practice कि अगर कुछ समय के लिए हम अपने किसी एक organ को, किसी एक limb को यूज करना बंद कर दें, that after some time that limb starts becoming non-functional. For example, if I stop using my right hand, then after a month, the muscles of these right hand will start becoming atrophied, right? And the opposite of that, what is the opposite? That if I start exercising of this right hand, if I go to a gym and I do the exercise of these biceps and triceps muscles, so the muscles of the biceps, these deltoid muscles, they start getting hypertrophied, right? जितना ज्यादा यूज करेंगे उतना उसका फंक्शन बढ़ेगा, right? So voluntarily from today, if I start awareness, if I increase my awareness that love is a part of my personality, then the love, this quality of love will increase in my personality. What we have been doing till now, we have focused all our time and energy to be skillful, to be best in our job. And that was right. We did not do any wrong thing. That was right. But as Dr. Chandana was saying, that there is much, much more dimensions of holistic healthcare. Apart from being the best in the job, I need to focus on these qualities as well. These are also part of my personality. And if I start using them more and more, I am going to increase my compassion index, right? So now straight away, I come to this way of increasing compassion. So there are some tools of compassion, right? There are some, practical ways to increase our compassion index. And the one of that practical ways, compassionate listening. And this compassionate listening is again very, very close to my heart. And there are three concepts we all have heard, that hearing, listening, or compassionate listening. Hearing, listening, and compassionate listening. So I ask each one of you, everyone who is attending this session right now, you are hearing to me, you are listening to me, or you are compassionately listening to me? What is your answer? You must be wondering, I'm asking a lot of questions today. Yes, I want to see your response in the chat box. You are listening to me, you are hearing me, or you are compassionately listening to me. So I'm getting that the third response. Okay, 2% were saying that you are compassionately listening to me right now. 1% is saying that you are listening to me right now. Okay, thank you so much. And the responses are still keep on coming and coming. So let's understand the difference between these three concepts. And once we understand the difference between this, we are getting the ready-made solution to be more and more compassionate. Okay. So hearing is something passive, a very passive phenomenon, right? So you all must have experienced or observed then when a child come from school and the child tells that this has happened in the school, the teacher said this thing to me, so the child narrates the whole routine of the school to his mother, and by chance the mother is busy on the phone, the mother is doing some engagement work on the phone. So what is the mother doing at that time? The mother is hearing to the child. The mother is passive at that moment. Mother is simply playing the formality of hearing to the child. So that is a passive phenomenon. So what is the next thing? That is listening. Listening is an active phenomenon. Hearing plus activeness, hearing plus attention is listening. So listening means when I'm attentively hearing to someone, that is listening. Listening also means understanding the other person. So all of you who are listening to me right now, you are understanding what I am saying. You are attentive right now. It means you are listening to me right now. So this was all about hearing and listening. So I take a pause here, and again we all reflect for a second that so many people come to us to talk to us either by phone or actively, come to us and talk to us. And what happens? We hear to them or we listen to them. And can we modify that? Can we modify that? Suppose till this time we have been doing the passive phenomenon, but from today we can convert that passive phenomenon to the active phenomenon. We can attentively hear a person. We can understand that person when the person is talking to me. That is listening. And now we come on to the third aspect, that is compassionate listening. So now my question to all my dear friends, brothers and sisters is that what is extra in compassionate listening? When listening is an active phenomenon, when listening is I am having attention, I'm purely attentive, I'm understanding the other person. What is extra is there in compassionate listening? Yes, that's so beautiful. So listening plus love, that is a wonderful answer from Mr. Rajendra ji. I know you have raised your hand also, and thank you for giving your response in the chat box. So listening with 100% present is compassionate listening. Beautiful. Listening with feeling is compassionate listening. That's so beautiful. You're perfectly right. When we are listening to the person with love, and I want to add a little more. When you're listening to the other person with unconditional love, that is compassionate listening. Listening with the heart is compassionate listening. Normally, we listen through the head, through the mind, through the brain. But when we listen to a person from the heart, is compassionate listening. Bilkul sahi. You all are giving wonderful responses. So, listening to someone from the heart, listening to someone with unconditional love, listening to someone as if my offering myself completely to you, with my 100% availability to you, that is compassionate listening. So, listening with eye contact. And the fourth important point about compassionate listening, which is the very, very important, the key ingredient of medical practice or healthcare professional, is listening with the non-judgmental attitude is compassionate listening. And again, I'll take a pause here because this non-judgmental attitude, this non-judgmental way of seeing people around me is the biggest lacune in our personality today. And after this session, we no more want to have this lacune with us. Rather, we will fill this lacune with this non-judgmental attitude towards each other. Suppose 78 people are here in this session listening to each other. And suppose one person comes to me, calls me and talks something very confidential to me. And suppose the content of that sharing is could be surprising, and it could be contradicting to that person's personality, but still I have no right to judge a person. आपके पास बहुत सारे लोग अपने दिल की बातें करने आते होंगे, एंड वो दिल की बातें बहुत सारे पर्सनालिटी के ऑपोजिट भी होती होंगी, लेकिन फिर भी हम किसी को जज नहीं कर सकते, राइट? Because I do not have any right to judge someone. Why? Why? Why do you think you don't have a right to judge anyone? Any responses? Because we have been judging till now. Till this session, we have been doing that. We were judging each and every person around me, consciously or subconsciously. So the question is, why I do not have the right to judge anyone. Yes, Jasbir Bhatia, you are giving that it is our own mirror image. That's right. Because that person is belonging to me, that belongs to me, right? Judgment separates us. That's a beautiful answer. Because if I judge someone, I become away from that person. But if I have a non judgmental attitude, it means I accept that person, right? लेकिन क्वेश्चन तो कुछ और है. Question is that you are giving answer that what are the benefits and harm of being judgment. Question is not this. Question is that why I do not have the right to judge anyone. Question is this. हम सबको पता है जजमेंट के नुकसान क्या है, हम सबको पता है बीइंग नॉन जजमेंटल होने के फायदे क्या है, बट क्वेश्चन इज दैट why I do not have the right to judge anyone. Yes. So we do not their story. Everyone is unique. That's right. We are not in their situation. Okay. And I am also not perfect. That's why I do not have the right to judge that person. That's perfectly right. That's perfectly right. If I judge, then I'm not compassionate. That is right. Obviously, compassionate listening का ingredient ही है non-judgmental. That's perfectly right. थोड़ा सा pause लेते हैं. Again revise. Again reflect करते हैं. By this time, अभी जितना time बचा है, we have come to this conclusion that we need to be non-judgmental. That is perfectly fine. But the question is that I do not have the right to judge anyone. Why? And the answer is that if we believe in Almighty, many of us must be believing in the Almighty. Many of us must be believing in this concept of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, right? Many of us must be believing in this concept of this oneness, belongingness. We all are the children of one God. And his children, each one of us, and all the people on this globe are doing good things and bad things, voluntarily and subconsciously also. So God, when he sees his children, he never discriminates. He always see the perfect form of a child. He always see his child in his best image, right? So I also do not have any right to see anyone, to see that person who is there in front of me in his present image. I should see everyone in his or her perfect image. And that perfect image is purity. That perfect image is full of unconditional love, right? So each and every person on this earth is belong to me, is my family. We all are siblings, children of one God. So that's why it does not give me any right to judge anyone. Right. So beautiful answer. Oneness. Yeah. There's so many responses in the chat box I'm getting. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful to each one of you for that. So compassionate listening is listening from the heart, listening with full attention, eye contact, non-judgmental, and maintaining the inner stillness. ये जो पांचवी चीज है ये बहुत important है. And that I told you. So compassion is one thing which will prevent the burnout, right? If I'm compassionate to someone, I'm preventing my inner state of mind to be lowered, to be discharged. So still I'm maintaining my inner stillness, and still I'm compassionate to everyone. I'm helping a person. So one more question to each one of you. How do we express compassion to each other? How do you express your compassion to each other? Yes, how do we express our compassion to each other? What do you do exactly to show that प्यार की झप्पी देना? Wonderful. Wonderful, Sunita ji. बहुत प्यार से किसी को गले लगाना is one of the very good way to express the compassion. What are the other ways? So there are some physical ways to express compassion, and there are some non-physical ways to express the compassion. Right. So smiling, our body language. So these are the ways to express compassion. So these are all the physical ways, hugging someone, smiling at someone, keeping a hand on the shoulder, keeping a hand on the head, right? So what are the non-physical ways to express the compassion? And one answer is that listening to them patiently. Wonderful. This is one of the very non-physical ways to express the compassion. So listening to the other person, understanding the other person. अब यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा मैं एक चीज ऐड करना चाहूंगी. Without even uttering a single word, without even saying something, can I show my compassion to the other person? Can I express my compassion to the other person? Can I be compassionate? And one answer is that listening. And one beautiful answer is that spreading positive vibes to him or her. And that is the answer. Giving blessings to the people around is one of the highest elevated form of expressing compassion to each other. दूसरों को blessings देना, दूसरों को दुआएं देना is one of the beautiful way to express compassion. And one question I asked you a few minutes back, that what are the blocks to be compassionate? And one of the biggest block of my personality trait is anger. Anger is something which is poles apart from compassion. अगर मेरे अंदर एंगर है किसी भी फॉर्म में, then I cannot be compassionate. So I need to understand my anger. So this is one exercise. I'm not asking you to do this exercise right now, but these are some questions you need to ask yourself. I need to ask myself, that how do I express my anger? How my anger affects others? And when I ask these questions in a silent time to myself, then I understand my anger. So now we come up to this point that compassion can be created and it can be experienced at the level of mind. So compassion can be acquired. It is a God gift also, but it can be enhanced. It can be increased. So how I can increase my compassion? The one take home message from today is compassionate listening. From today, जो भी व्यक्ति मेरे पास आएगा, I'm not going to hear them. I'm not going to listen to them, but I'm going to compassionately listen to them, right? That is practical tip number 1. Take home message. Second take home message to increase or enhance compassion is self-compassion, self-care. अगर एक हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल, हम सब अपने आप को हेल्थ केयर प्रोफेशनल्स और डॉक्टर्स कहते हैं, and people call us healers. So first I have to heal myself. Then I'm going to become a great healer. First I need to show self-compassion to myself, self-care to myself. And what is the major obstacle for self-care? What is the major obstacle to self-care? Yes, guilt, shame. Beautiful answer, beautiful. Guilt. Guilt is one low energy vibration which is going to be a great obstacle for self-care. So today I have to free myself from guilt. I have to forgive myself. I have to forgive everyone around me. And I have to take this first step of self-compassion. I have to accept myself, whoever I am. I have to accept myself. I have to love myself. So today, at this moment, with all this beautiful family of 73 spiritual doctors, each one of us accept oneself. Each one of us accept and love oneself, right? And the third most important point to increase and create or enhance compassion is forgiveness, unconditional love, belongingness, acceptance, appreciation, right? So abhi kuch minutes baad, when I wind up my session, I'm going to give you a practical demonstration also, that how I can be compassionate to myself and each one around me, how I can accept oneself. I need to accept myself. I need to appreciate myself and everyone around me. And the second last point to increase or create compassion is getting the approval. Getting the approval. Whatever I speak, whatever I do, I need to get the approval. So I need to get the approval from, किससे approval लेना है? कुछ भी करने से पहले, कुछ भी सोचने से पहले. Yes, I need to get the approval from ourselves. Anything else? Anything else? I need to get approval from the heart. The beautiful answer. और कहाँ से approval लेना है? पुराने जमाने में जब कोई छोटा बच्चा कोई नया काम करने की कोशिश करता था तो किससे अप्रूवल लेते थे हम अपने घर के बड़ों से अप्रूवल लेते थे, फ्रॉम आवर पेरेंट्स और फ्रॉम ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स। बट आजकल तो वो कल्चर नहीं है, राइट? सो अप्रूवल किससे लेना है? हायर सेल्फ से। ब्यूटीफुल। सो हु इज द हायर सेल्फ? एक तो मैं हूं हायर सेल्फ, जिसकी स्टेट ऑफ माइंड कभी ऊपर होती है कभी नीचे होती है। हाँ, and one approval is taking approval from the universe, and the third point is taking approval from the highest elevated personality in this whole universe, that is Almighty. So taking approval from the Almighty that whatever I think and whatever I speak and whatever I do is going to benefit myself and the others. So creating compassion and enhancing compassion is giving blessings, that I told you. So the biggest way of expressing compassion to each one of us is giving blessings. When I give blessings to everyone, I receive blessings automatically, right? So as I told you, that compassion can be enhanced at the level of self, at the level of mind. Okay, so I need to know a little bit about the mind, and time is short, so I'll wind up in next 10 minutes or 8 minutes. So the role of the mind, the role of the energy I'm there in this body is to create the type of thoughts. I create empowering thoughts, I create positive thoughts and waste thoughts. So if I want to increase my compassion, if I want to enhance the compassion, then I need to create these empowering thoughts voluntarily, by my choice, and continuously, right? So now we are going to have a beautiful demo of increasing my compassion and how we are going to enhance our compassion index. और ये सब हम कर ही क्यों रहे हैं? What is the benefit of compassion? The benefit of compassion is that it increases my stock of blessings. It helped me in creating a good karma. It helped me in settling my karmic accounts and giving a feel good feeling. So fortunately, I'm quite fortunate to practice Raj Yoga meditation for a long time in my life. And I request all of you to practice this meditation for a while. So all of you, please sit straight. कुछ टाइम के लिए अपनी बैक को स्ट्रेट करेंगे. You can close your eyes or open your eyes to your will. And 5 times deep breathing, each one of you. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Third time. Fourth time, and fifth time. Imagine yourself that you are standing on the bank of an ocean. समुंदर के किनारे आप खड़े हैं, नंगे पांव, and the waves of the ocean are coming towards you, touching your feet and going away. The cool water is touching your feet, and you can experience the coolness. But you are standing there just observing the waves. The waves are coming and going. Now focus all your attention to your mind and be an observer to your mind today. Then lots of thoughts are coming to my mind and going away. मेरे मन में हर तरह के विचार आते हैं और जा भी रहे हैं. And today I am an observer to my mind. I give permission to the thoughts and I let them go. Today I am not holding to any thought. I am letting them go. चाहे कोई नेगेटिव थॉट या वेस्ट थॉट या पॉजिटिव भी, सब तरह के विचार मेरे मन में आते हैं और वापस जाते हैं. I am a beautiful observer to my mind. And now I give a beautiful thought to myself. I am a compassionate being. I am a pure being. I accept everyone. I accept myself. I see myself as a beautiful child of God. I accept each and every person on this earth as my family. I have a sense of belongingness to everyone. I accept everyone. I appreciate everyone. Each and every person around me is compassionate. I am a healer. God uses me to heal everyone. I have unconditional love for everyone. My body is perfect and healthy. Divine blessings and powers are a circle of golden right around me. I'm completely safe, relaxed in this golden divine light. Nothing can enter in this divine circle. I'm protected. Compassion is my nature. I accept each and everyone around me. I forgive myself today for all the wrongdoings done till now. On your mental screen, bring a person in front of you who have done wrong to you. And with all your heart, I forgive him or her. I liberate myself from the guilt. I liberate myself from the hurt. I am a liberated soul. I forgive everyone around me. I am a healer. I can heal everyone. I have this power to experience peace and love and to make others experience peace and love. I am a peaceful being, a loveful being. God uses me to heal everyone, and I have unconditional love for everyone. I am a compassionate being. Compassion is my true nature. From today, I will express compassion to everyone around me. Thank you so much. Om Shanti. Thank you.